morning, everybody. Looks like we are live. Featured stream today is Rachel G of England versus Blake Beals of America. Black's approach 12 looks a little bit wide to me. So Blake's opted to play deep. There's been some real interesting shots played over the course of the first part of this game, which has been played whilst the gear's been set up, including a pretty good jump shot from Blake at 7. So he's playing pretty well. Rachel, on the other hand, has played a terrific positional shot with blue. Might be a little bit runs. And should be eyeing up a big clearance here. And the further up the lawn that black goes, the better for her, I think. So Rachel, with the deficit here in the scoreline, is looking to capitalise her advantage at 12 and also be in a good position at 13 as well. Blake's clearance for yellow has missed the blue ball. Opportunity here for Rachel to level the score if it was a runner. Nicely done. So 6 apiece. Blake will have first approach with his red. Black, in lieu of its clearance earlier on the yellow ball, will have a reasonable crack at this, I should suspect. So that's okay. It's in front. It's quite deep. It's obviously feeling the threat from the black ball. Oh, that's a great shot. Yeah, really good. So the position that Rachel's ended up in there is that her ball has gone off the kind of 7-yard boundary in front of 13. Blake has headed off south of corner 3. So that is the perfect outcome. The clearance there from Rachel. So puts her in a nice strong position for the hoop. If blue ball can actually get to 13 here, and it isn't hampered by 12. She has done very, very well. The black ball obviously will be in quite a nice position it's just controlling the hoop where it is anyway. It'll either be threat to the hoop from the 7-yard boundary, or it's just a clearance on the yellow ball. So Rachel's blue ball opting to play perhaps a little deeper than I expected. But it might tempt Blake out of the clearance here. Temptation here for Blake is probably that blue ball's got to go, knowing that black is going to clear yellow. He has opted against that line of play. Rachel eyeing up a hoop shot to blue. to see whether or not the yellow is actually worth clearing, or whether she just wants to take this on as it is. And see it as kind of like a freebie first go, which is, you know, reasonable given how good the clearance was. Obviously, blue is the out of the two hoop shots you'd be looking at here. Blue being the slightly easier one. Arguably less pressure on the black though, because the nearest ball to the hoop, from Rachel's perspective for her oppo, is yellow, which isn't, I mean, an immediate threat to the hoop. So the first hoop shot that Blake's going to generate here could potentially be with the red. Rachel can look at this as a free go, which she has, and wasn't quite successful. So Blake here with a few options. The snuggle is a very big, very powerful shot. It's not one I'm particularly keen on myself, probably just because I'm not particularly playing it. It's the option that Blake has opted for now, so he's played the block. I'm unsure whether or not he has blocked either of the ball or both, but Rachel's swinging at something, so I would suspect. Given it Blake was shot, this one but should just be because yellow's come so far deep into the court, she might actually go down for the ball. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, reasonable tactical choice, I think. Yeah, given that yellow wasn't the runner at the time, I think taking the hoop on with both black and blue is smart. The difference being that black was further away. But yellow, it's less pressure on black because there isn't an immediate hoop, so that might be what's going for Rachel finally. So yeah, let's see. Right, let's take on game one. So an interesting start to the block there. Blake, of course, no stranger to playing croquet in the UK, having come previously for the Under-21 Worlds when it was held in Nottingham. But, it's a strong player, an up-and-comer. Good hard-hitting technique. So will definitely be a force to be reckoned with within his block. Rachel providing us perhaps a little more steady, consistent croquet. We know not. I think we're just waiting for play to restart. Should be imminent. Try and give a brief synopsis of what's going on elsewhere in the club. So number one is Jonathan Powell. He is playing against Mohammed Nazar. Mohammed Nazar got a strong start in game one. I believe he's just maintain that point. Game two, I believe taking the first. Let's definitely see what else is going on. I just want to chat. Difficult for me to find out other scores at present, but if I do manage to get anything else going, I'm sure to let you know. I might see if I can find a runner at some point. But in the meantime, the players Croquet Club, which is norm 4 at Southwark, are just returning to corner 4, and so we'll be in play imminently. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the YouTube comments section, so if anybody does have anything to chip in, any feedback would be greatly appreciated, in particular whether or not the streaming quality is par or subpar. In particular, is really a bit tricky to balance this morning. The commentary is probably going to be more prevalent than the courtside mic until running a cable, which I might do if I get a few minutes later on. Probably between matches, I'll try and run a courtside mic if I can, if there's anywhere practical to put it. Otherwise, at the moment, I think the audio is actually transmitting wirelessly, which kind of works. They're back in action, so I shall rejoin at number 1. It's not quite the clearance Rachel was after. This is likely to just be a stop shot on blank. Maintain control of 1. Yeah, it's not bad. I'd probably be looking to the distance that the two balls were apart. I'd probably be looking to play that ever so slightly towards the left centre, just to travel. Even any distance you can travel towards hoop line is obviously beneficial. But I think there was potential there to, perhaps just hit it with the same style of strike, even slightly off centre towards the left, will just drift you in the direction of your the object hoop. So that's probably the way that I'd be looking to try and strike that, as opposed to absolutely full in the face. But nevertheless, he's in front, he's in control. So Rachel's got some work to do here to get back into this one. Yeah, so that's sensible. Nice deep ball. It kind of takes away the clearance, black to yellow, really, for anything particularly constructive, because yellow's only going to a 7-yard boundary. So, and any sort of semblance of cut you try and put on that, it's just sending black in a direction you don't really want it to head to. So Rachel wants to try and maintain control of the black ball. She's not likely to be allowing much of a clearance on the yellow. Albeit not a particularly easy one, will grant Blake, a hoop shot if he wants it. So Rachel will just opt to playing close here. So looking to try to obstruct both the yellow and the red hoop. Yep, that's a sensible option, especially if it's wide. So if he's managed to promote partner to where blue can't see it, that's a really good shot. It doesn't look like he has, so contrary to an earlier summary of Blake's deep position, he's actually gone on kind of taken away that advantage, if you like, of the deep position by promoting part ball into a position where it can be cleared. In normal, the cut clearance that we saw Rachel deploy at 13. So if I had been struck probably to round about what Rachel was aiming for, we probably would have seen Blake's red ball there disappear off towards corner 4. I think Rachel hit it a little bit too full on and just sent it to that southmost 7-yard boundary. That's afforded Blake a reasonably nice in-lawn clearance at black, which is taken. Struck well. So interesting. Oh well, doesn't know she's just playing in. So yeah, I think yellow's close enough for me to consider a threat to the hoop there. So I think I'd probably be trying to take that on. I think Blake's hooping style is pretty good, and he hits it with enough pace to get down the court, which he has. So yeah, I think for me there, yellow's got to go. If your oppo's got an opportunity to do pretty much what Blake's done here, neither thunder off the boundary behind the next hoop to play, or indeed can run the hoop with enough control, to potentially stay in front of the play, then I think you've just got to take your clearance off. So Blake there being able to play his hoop 1 hoop shot to get off the boundary at hoop 2 is a powerful position to be in, because it will afford Blake a turn in clearance with the hoop running ball at hoop 1. So the ball that he's run off the boundary through hoop 1 will now just be used to clear Rachel's first approach. So Rachel's response to that is to try and take a wide position by taking position at hoop 2, where the hoop is actually in the way of this clearance here Blake's taking on. As we can see, the wide position didn't quite come off, but Blake's clearance on blue has actually knocked into his own part of the ball, which is unfortunate, and allows Rachel just an opportunity to play in. I think Blake is aggressive enough to just go for this. And I think if I was playing blue, I'd be inclined to have cleared red there. So he's come off the outside of the wire there. But yeah, I think... I'm not sure I'd be I'm not sure if he's giving my Arpo a chance to play that. Not so sure. So Rachel here will be looking to probably protect partner with this black ball. So we can see roughly where we're expecting yellow to play from. Is round about where Blake's standing on this side boundary. So what we're probably going to see here is black attempt a position where yellow can't see that clearance. If Rachel's lucky, there'll be a spot on the lawn where she can actually obstruct both the clearance and the hoop stroke. But it looks like the hoop is open, so that'll narrow Blake's options down for him. So, yeah, the hoop attempt was perhaps a little further away than Blake would have liked there, which gives Rachel an option just to tap in hoop 2. Given where Black is, you might see some people jaws that in an attempt to use Black to then hit blue through to take advantage at hoop 3. But given where red had failed its jump shot to, there's a bit too much of a threat on the north boundary. So Rachel just playing safe and taking her point. So 1 apiece. Whoever's in charge of the scoreboard, put their finger out. So red looks a bit short to me in terms of its angle. I think it looks like it's probably played into a reasonably good position, but hasn't quite made it. So Rachel was answered with a deeper black, but it's a bit straighter. So I quite like that response to red's position. That was probably a speculative promote on partner. Not a successful one. So that looks like it'll render Blake with 2 out of position balls. So Rachel will play this blue in close, which she has. So this looks like just a steady clearance on the blue. Just going to reach. Oh, it's it could be good. Well, it's tough to tell from this. Could be. Could be a rather nice enough opportunity. Black, but Rachel spending quite a long time eyeing up options. So, assuming the in-off is not on the cards. So it looks like we've encountered technical difficulty early doors, which is unfortunate, with the live stream having only gone up for about 5 minutes. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. For those of you who have just joined us, we are live here at the Golf Croquet World Championships. This is day 1 of play. The camera is currently pointed on lawn 4 at Sussex County Croquet Club, and we are streaming Rachel G of England versus Blake Fields of the United States. Blake took game number 1, 7-6. 2-1 lead. Game 2. Alison will be on shortly, so any complaints, please give them to her. Any compliments, Toby Savage, you're live in the commentary box. David P, thank you for writing in. In response, we will cover various different courts and matches as the tournament progresses. So the plan of action for the sort of earlier few rounds is to perhaps pick up some players that aren't often subject to live streaming. So we've gone for this match. The next few matches will be Simit Vale, and then obviously as the tournament progresses, we'll see the likes of more commonplace. We'll progress further. No stranger to the limelight. Obviously, that goes without saying. That doesn't necessarily imply that neither of these players will make progress, that they are perhaps lesser covered. So I think the plan is to cover countries and nations that don't often get UK coverage. So we don't see a lot of US players. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. What I'm not trying to say is that Rachel won't make the knockout. So just putting that on record. Wow. Big clearance from yellow. Not quite a success. So it looks like Rachel's eyeing up whether or not the red ball can see the black. If it can't, obviously she is in pretty good position for hoop 4. The likelihood is she would probably just take this speculative attempt with blue. A bit of a no-pressure hoop shot if red can't see black. If it can, then she might perhaps consider clearing red into a position where it can't see black. But as we've seen the referee firm up the hoop, likelihood is this choice of shot. Not quite. Not a disastrous outcome, though. That's not a bad place to be at all. If red indeed can't see black, black takes its hoop and runs by perhaps an inch or two. The potential for a promote from 4 to 5 is pretty good. I'll be honest, I'm entirely unsure what it's tried there. But it looks like it's looks to me like it's in a worse position than it was earlier. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. So Blake seems to favour a deep ball if there are low balls knocking about, which is fair enough. That's probably not how he intended to strike that. It looks a bit disappointed. the outcome of that stroke. So Rachel here will just be looking to probably maximise distance on yellow, cut it towards corner 4. Shows what I know. Goes for the control centre ball. So the distance that yellow has gone from blue is not quite as much as she could have done, but the idea is to obviously keep the black ball local. So playing a sensible clearance as opposed to a cut will keep partner ball, striker's ball, in the vicinity. But when you've got a player that's capable of doing that with the yellow, that's where you want to be sending them a little bit further if possible. So what we can't see is that yellow has actually ended up pretty much plumb behind hoop 5. So having cleared opponent's ball, it is actually legal. So if red were to have run there, we would have seen yellow in a good position to control hoop number 5 as well. So Rachel opting for the jump shot. Not quite generating the height required. It looks like it bounced just before red. So yeah, it has unfortunately not quite generated the height to clear the red ball. So yeah, that distance, I think you've just got to be looking to clear it on the fly, I think, but different strokes for different folks, as they say. So some people can generate quite the power to clear a shot like that in one. Others have to tailor their style to play to their strengths. So I think it comes down to a multitude of factors, including play style, stance, grip. They all play. They all play a part. What type of shots players can and can't play, how they can play them. So some players can generate the power to be able to jump reasonably comfortable from distances that others might not even deem to be possible, let alone do it on the fly. So Rachel has factored that into her game and knew that she needed to play a bounce. The danger then, of course, is that her ball knocks opponent ball through the hoop, which is so a hoop like number 4, it can prove particularly costly, because if a player has a ball in the draws of 3, generally speaking, you're not really too worried about conceding first approach from 3 to 4, because the ball that's in the jaws is going to be run through 3 in a way that it will either take a hoop running position at 4 or take control of any. So if an opponent draws is an odd-numbered hoop like 3, 1, that sort of thing, generally speaking, they're running down towards the next anyway. But if an opponent draws as an even-numbered hoop, first approach isn't really conceded, because if Blake had jaws to 4 like we saw and then ran it, he's only really running it to 7-yard boundary south of 4, a maximum. So you're not really too concerned about a jaws ball being considered to have conceded first approach. So to knock the opponent through the hoop at an even number 2 is a disaster, because not only do you concede the point, but you do then also concede first approach. So as we saw, Blake had his ball knocked through 4, then that actually gave him the first shot at hoop 5 as well. So unfortunately, particularly costly jump shot attempt on Rachel's part. And as we have seen play transpire, it has resulted in Blake scoring 5 converting on that advantage of first approach. He did actually play a particularly aggressive clearance with red at black, which I quite like actually. Neither ball threatening the hoop, but Blake's got one close enough that he considers worth defending by playing that meaty in-lawn clearance, which I really like. As it transpires, Rachel then opted to not play her clearance at 5, whether or not she could see the object ball, or whether she just decided that halfway to maximise her chances at 6 was the tactical play for her. But yeah, that's what a big in-lawn clearance can afford. When both balls, the striker's ball and the object ball, are nowhere in the vicinity of the hoop, it looks a bit wild. But yeah, I really like it. I really like the style of play. So obviously, it's worked well enough for Blake, having run 5. Just some Rachel with a hoop attempt at 6, which was unfortunately not to be. Blake's attempted a clearance, promote on the ball, which hasn't quite come off. So I think for me, this one's a bit of a no-brainer. Rachel just needs to do exactly what she's aiming for here, and just send the yellow. So the more control she can gain here with black, it doesn't have to remain in hoop running position. But if it can remain anywhere that can, be a threat to a ball that's put in position by Oppo, that's perfectly fine, I think. So if this yellow comes in, we're likely to just see black clear it again in the next rotation. I think that's what we've got to try and play for. So Reg was on court next to me. I was playing on court number 2. This has since been vacated. He played block C4, so he played Mustafa Isa, who played well in the qualifier and his place at the main event. Here comes trouble.
Good morning.
I'm joined in the commentary box by Alison Moore. So nice to have somebody that knows what they're talking about. No, just turn that off down straight away. So yeah, Rachel's clearance there on the black earlier, black on yellow, has come off very well. So it did afford her a decent clearance with the second rotation, again at yellow once it's played in. So I think yellow played quite defensively and still tried to play away from the clearance, but it wasn't good enough. Rachel, yeah, played the clearance well. So as it turns out, there's been a bit of an error with the configuration of the stream this morning, and so the link that was sent out over Facebook is to a schedule that currently hasn't gone live. So if anybody's tuned in to the day one, session one scheduled stream, they might be in a waiting room for some time. So if anybody that has currently tuned in knows anybody that might also have wanted to tune in, we are going to try and republish the correct streaming link, but the one that was put out on Facebook is not the one that is currently going live. And that error is my responsibility, unfortunately. But we are working to correct the link that is on Facebook. So if anybody knows anybody that was interested in tuning in that might just be in some random YouTube waiting room, the correct way to currently go about tuning in is to just navigate to the Croquet England YouTube channel, and there will be a notification that we are currently live, and that will be the way to join us. So rejoining the action, looks like Rachel took the initiative at Houppet, and also played a particularly decent clearance at 9 as well. So that forces Blake's return roquet, which is hit with aplomb. So Rachel trekking back in the direction that she's just played from. We'll probably play this in, I think. Yes. Particularly deep as well. Okay, so that would suggest that neither black nor red are in any particular hoop running position. So Blake opting for his clearance with red on blue, that sends red to the 7-yard top boundary. The likelihood is we're just going to see Rachel try and tap this to just a handful of inches in front, ideally on the blocking line, red at hoop. Big shot. He's hit that well. He's played that ball pretty much the vicinity of hoop 2. And absolutely nailed his clearance at 9. So it's a great shot. So once I've actually updated the scoreboard, I believe we're all tied up here at 4 apiece. Just to instill a bit of confidence in the viewers, we are definitely tied up at 4 apiece. And count pegs, and then 4 of each. Oh, so gone for the controlled clearance there. Arguably somewhat of a rarity, but struck well. In terms of pace for control, but he was unfortunate that the blue ball has made contact with the potential to jaws off there, which is a bit baited outcome. That one's much better, so he's hit that right in the nose. So that one, that's a good controlling ball, but the likelihood is we're going to see black played in. So yellow has actually got to do something about that. Otherwise, blue's likely to just take its in on clearance on red. So we might just see a few turns here where players, I was going to say, just play for steady controlled clearances, but looks like legs made me eat my words. That's actually not a bad outcome, because it does actually take the in-run clearance away from blue, but what it does facilitate is the double. Rachel hasn't quite got it. They didn't miss by much, I don't think. Arguably, that's not too bad, but it does facilitate Blake here having a shot to defend his yellow ball. So if red clears black here, Rachel is then left with a shot that she either has to hit or obstruct. Contact's not great on that one, so the likelihood is we'll see Rachel just play a steady clearance on this yellow.
Way back. No, I think so.
Okay, so currently see Rachel out with 5-4 lead. Trying to sort out the link, the updated link for the stream. So hopefully we'll have a few viewers join us from the earlier published link to the newly amended one. We've had a request from Hisham Abdul-Wazbar as to whether or not we can move around, and we will do as the event develops. As play progresses, we will move to various different courts. We'll probably endeavour to stick with a match at any given time. I think the focus for the earlier rounds of the competition is to see if we can cover some perhaps lesser published matches and players and individuals. So we don't often, in the UK, we don't often see US players. So I think that was to cover one of our US guests, US visitors. So we've gone for Blake Fields, and he's playing Rachel G. Blake took the first game with some pretty spectacular hooping clearancing. He played a really nice jump shot 7 as well. Yeah, played very well. Rachel currently has the initiative in game 2 and is shooting for a 6-4 lead. Okay. Takes the lead in game 2. So next to me, so this is a stream of Lawn 4 at Southwick. The match next to me, just about to kick off, is England #1 JP Moberly versus fellow England compatriot Will G. Interesting to see how many times the players get confused with one another. So now they're on the same lawn, hopefully there'll be no mistaking. I'm unsure whether that was a draws attempt or whether he's actually played for a really tight position. But that's what he's got. So if that's what he's played for, he's done really well there, I think. It's a good position to be in. It's definitely going to force Rachel's hand if he plays this anywhere where the hoop can't be seen by the black ball. Because it's given the vicinity of the ball to hoop 11. That's going to be a very tough clearance. But given the pace at which this black ball has just been played in, I'm guessing that maybe yellow is actually off to the side. It's difficult to tell with the camera gone. Yes, it does actually look like yellow is not in front of it. It's in fact side. Yes, so opting to simply cover the hoop, given the way Rachel's studying this, it might have gone just a tad too far, not in fact be trivial hoop running position. So the clip's off, so we'll see a jump shot here, I suspect. A good jump shot to take game 2, I think. So not a bad outcome. It hasn't left yellow in the draws, so that is to turn second points. In the hoop point hasn't been scored, but the opponent's ball has been cleared. So two. Looks like Blake's eyeing up the hoop here with red. Barely brushed side wire. Well into the lead off Southend.
Yeah.
Would you be very kind to make up the gas for me, darling?
Do what? Oh, yeah. In a minute. Yeah.
So Rachel leads 6-5. So the objective here, if she can, if there's a reasonable spot in the room for her, is for her to try and hide her black ball where red can't see it from its position after having run from 11 onto the far boundary. So red will be placed onto the south boundary, and Rachel will be looking for a place where black ball can be placed in front of hoop 12. Red cannot see it. Given black's close proximity to the hoop, I would suspect that red can see, because otherwise I think we would have seen yellow take on its shot. So it looks like red's taking relief at the boundary, and we have Charlie good swing at the black ball. Nicely struck. Yeah, that's a great shot. That's really good as well, with red travelling so far up the court, as we saw earlier. Black's there, got to do something about this yellow. If it doesn't, if yellow scores hoop 12 as a result of this defending clearance from red at black, because red will have come off of an opponent's ball, it will find itself in an offside position. They've got there legally, by virtue of the fact that it came off an opponent's ball, and it will be in close proximity for a clearance at Rachel's first approach to 13 if the game were ever to get that. So, yeah, terrific clearance. But Rachel responds very well with a terrific clearance of her own. So this potentially just be a shot for the win, especially if Black can see the yellow ball. This is likely to just be a shot at the hoop. It's close with the blue ball, so there's not really a whole lot that red can do in terms of playing in nice and close, because it's going to be threatened by the blue ball. That is a little bit close to my liking. If Rachel can play a good clearance here, whereby black stays in the vicinity of the hoop, doesn't look like this is tying up a clearance. This might just be going towards halfway between hoop 12 and 13. It looks like the shot that's been played. It looks okay, I think that's almost bang on the line. It's a Blake ball. Run 12 and just ensure that he's given himself an approach to 13, so it's 6 apiece. Blake's immediately taking a swing at this, so it looks like Rachel's first approach was good enough. Blake feels the need to play the clearance, and he has hit that bang in the middle. Both balls having left the boundary, so he's played it with enough power that both balls have left the court, which is really what you want in a position like that. If Rachel's blue ball left the court and Blake's ball stopped about a yard off the boundary, that then gives Rachel the opportunity to play in the black ball, and then blue takes its inrun clearance on red. Because both balls have left the court, that clearance is off the cards for Rachel, so it's a really, really good shot for her. Really good shot with a terrific outcome. Which we'll see what opportunity unfolds as a result of it. So the likelihood is we may well see... Oh, this looks like Rachel's checking the hoop to see whether or not it's firm enough. And in that instance, it looks like she is just going to take this 7-yarder on. There's an opportunity here for her to perhaps consider taking blocking position, especially given that blue and red are quite close to each other. If she rolls blue anywhere on the line of red, she can take it out of the game entirely. She's just choosing to take the hoop directly on. Unfortunately, not quite paying off this time round. But Blake now eyeing up his options. Does he go for his 7-yarder to win the match? Or does he take on his clearance? Looks like he's taking the 7-yarder for the match. I think they're both viable options, really, to be fair. I think I'd be inclined to take the 7-yarder myself. Unfortunately, it's not come off. So, well, it has come off, but it's come off near wire, into par wire, into no hoop. So, Rachel here shooting. Level the match score at 1 game each. Arguably not quite in the right headspace for that shot. Hasn't perhaps quite enough thought into the execution. Rapturous applause there coming from one of the far courts. Looks like court number 9 is being cleared by Richard Bolton. The real app is the Uruguayan player. I personally know them. And totally honest, I'm quite glad it's just not 8th seed on my block. So I know just how dangerous she can be. Doesn't really get much of an opportunity to play much in the way of international croquet. This is very much her debut. She has been a member of Canterbury Croquet Club, at which I have also been a member. And yeah, she is terrific. Perhaps not quite as well loved as some of the internationals that we'll see here. But you put her on a 7-yard boundary and tell her, oh, just run that for me. My goodness, she will. So yeah, really interesting to see how she progresses as the tournament goes on. And it looks like we're seeing Lawn 4 clearing as well. So that'll be all she wrote on that match. Yeah, 7-6. 7-6. Okay, I am going to mute the camera, cut the still, work out what we're streaming next, and we will be rejoining the action very shortly.
He gets it all from his mate.
Morning, everybody. Welcome back. We are just setting up the cameras to point at lawn 2, which will be the feature fixture. Conversely to what I said earlier about live streaming people that aren't from England, we're going to go with just purely because of the way the rounds have fallen. We're going to go with John Paul Mobley versus Will G. So once we've got the cameras set up, that is where we will be headed. As a match update, they are currently playing game 1. John Paul's playing blue and black, and he has taken a 3-0 lead. So Will has just capitalised on his advantage at hoop number 4 and is on the board. So the score is 3-1 to John Paul Mobley. On the adjacent lawn, we have Joel Taylor, fresh out qualifier, versus Peter Payne of Switzerland. They've made some progress and are currently contesting hoop number 10. I think we've got one player clipping there. Once I've worked out who's who, I'll be able to give you a score on that one. So we have a camera on lawn 2. So we see Will here with the ball that he ran hoop number 4. He'll be looking to defend his hoop runner at 5 by clearing the blue ball with yellow. So the discussion here is likely to be relief. So Will is going to want to get some proper footing on the boundary here. Also, these fences, they're not put in just the right position. The difficult balancing act that Southwick has to play here is the difference between a player being able to get clearance on their backswing versus facilitating a footpath along the boundary of the court. So it's actually quite tough to know just exactly where to put the fence. But nevertheless, Will can take relief here if he chooses. But it might actually be his footing that's the issue. Doesn't like something.
So good morning everyone, this is Debbie Lyons. I'm joining Toby in the commentary box for a little while. Never commentated before, so this should be interesting.
Yes, thank you very much for taking the time to provide some far more insightful commentary than I'm doing, most likely.
I wish.
It's always good to have, two different tactical opinions providing a commentary as well. So it'll be interesting to get the insights of probably two people who have completely different croquet styles. So
Yes. I don't tend to hit that hard, so our take on the game will be a little different.
yeah, yeah, a bit like the two players that we're watching, in fact.
We play each other quite often, so probably not that happy with the draw, I'm guessing.
Yeah, country separation has perhaps missed this one, but yeah.
What's the score at the moment in this game?
We're currently 3-1 to JP. So JP is playing blue and black, and Will G is playing red and yellow, and JP leads 3-1. And this is game number 1 of the match. This is a round 2 fixture.
JP giving this quite a bit of thought.
Looks like he's just eyeing up the options that Will's got in front of him, just to work out what his most advantageous line of play will be.
Go and check. On blank, is it? Yeah.
That looks like a block of some sort.
Unsure whether he's actually on the line. Will might have. Right.
Is there anything being streamed? Nothing at all. Right. Okay. Let's sort that out there first. Lovely. Okay, just.
Ah, that's the one. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, having ironed out that technical bug, we rejoin the action at hoop 6.
Okay, so Will is going to try and play black now. And hits that centre ball.
Nicely done.
Bit unlucky with the jump, so red's gone miles as well.
Yeah. Unfortunate bit of contact there, but when you hit them
That
with such
hard, you're not
ferocity,
going to stay anyway, are you?
quite.
Yeah. It does at least avoid you getting any hill on the shot if you hit it that hard.
That's my philosophy. Yeah. So Will with some work to do here. JP looking to.
Nice shot. Lag nicely in. I don't know if that's wide from yellow or not. He'll have been hoping to get wide, no doubt.
Yes, I think that would have been the good play, but nevertheless, if Will takes on this clearance, as you said, if he plays it with any real pace, he's losing both the oppo ball and striker's ball anyway. So
he's gone for
the play in.
Yep.
Putting all his eggs in one basket, hoping for the clearance with red.
Yeah. So, do you think blue will try and get between red and black? No, he's just going to take yellow out.
Yeah. Just be a nice controlled centre ball. This one really isn't a disaster if you lose this, because if blue heads off into the direction of 7, red then misses its clearance. Blue is just, drifting off in the direction of the next hoop, so it's
nice and close.
not too bad, yeah. So it is kind of halfway house, really. It's just a controlling ball at 6 or 7, depending on how the game transpires. Right, it's
another centre ball head.
Yeah, another bang on line, but
I'd still rather have JP's position than Will's right now.
I agree. Yeah, it's quite.
Sooner or later, Will's hoping that JP doesn't manage to lag into position so that he can change the dynamic here.
Yeah.
But he needs something to stop it just being a bash their balls away the whole time.
That one it's a runner, I think, but it's about a foot short from ideal. So that could be the entrance into this stranglehold that Will was looking for. This is a must hit for Will, and if he gets it, he's in a great position for control of the hoop. But
unfortunately, he's missed that, so black is now going to clear yellow all the way to the far boundary, leaving blue in command of the hoop.
So JP's opted for the steady, controlled clearance.
Which leaves black with a runnable hoop as well.
Yeah,
Nice shot.
it's very well executed. He's renowned for those types of mid-pace clearances where his ball sticks around. So, you know, and if you can execute them well, they're a significant threat.
So Will's been left with a bit of a double now, though, isn't he? Blue in the hoop.
I think that's probably what he's going to be eyeing up. Yeah, there's a
Might-
potential for the hoop. There's a potential for the clearance. There's a potential for an in-off. There's a lot going on this one.
Yeah. Nice
It's
clearance.
a good clearance, yeah.
He hasn't missed one since I joined the commentary team.
You're obviously a lucky charm.
We have to tell him that, shall we?
Yeah.
Got a few other things to do this week than commentate on all of Will's matches.
Oh, pity. I'm sure he'll be devastated. Yeah, so that puts his yellow ball legal at 7 as well. So if we end up in a position where black does actually take this hoop on that JP's given himself through virtue of his controlled clearance earlier, yellow will actually be legal at the 7th hoop and will be in a position to threaten any ball that JP puts in
Right, so
when the time comes.
Will's just gone to check to see if blue's got in black's way. Not sure if we have camera angle on that or not. Which ball are you taking out, Toby, here? Blue or black?
Well, I think given... I think given where yellow is,
Oh, he's lagged in.
I don't think that's actually a bad shout. I think that just kind of said... I think what he was looking for there was a position where black couldn't see red.
Yeah.
So that's kind of him saying, you know, take this hoop on if you want. I'm over here if you get it. But I think in the position that Will finds himself in, where he's 4-1 down, you know, he's just trying to, you know, he's trying to find ways back into the hoop, and for him,
Oh, that was
That was
pretty.
yeah, that's not bad
So-
croquet, that is it?
Yeah, that was pretty good. So what JP did there was clear the red, and he was aiming to get black in the jaws of the hoop with that clearance, and he got it. Lovely shot.
Can't say fairer than that, can you?
Nope.
So that gives Will some work to do, but the pressure on this clearance shot here is that not only is Will staring down the barrel of conceding hoop 6, there is potential here for JP to play his blue ball into black, with blue ball flicking off towards 7 as well. So
Yeah.
where Will was in a position to potentially be controlling 6 and 7, JP now has that option available to him. So if he plays this shot with blue particularly well, even if blue doesn't take hoop running position, it's only got to get close enough to be able to clear anything that Will puts in as his first ball.
Smiling. So looking at the hoop 7.
That probably suggests that black is just far enough out and blue is just dead on the line enough that the shot can't really be played.
The last thing he wants to do is take it on and blue end up in the jaws of 6. That would be poor.
I think a worse outcome would
Well,
be
black bounces out.
that black ends up unrunnable. That's the thing with black being not quite dead in the middle of the two uprights, where it is actually out by, you know, a couple of centimetres or so. So I think it looks like he's just playing safe here and
Yeah.
opting for wide position.
Wide position from red, and also obviously doesn't want to be immediately behind black, otherwise if red does run and clear black, doesn't want black to take blue out as well.
That's right, yeah.
So Will's maybe going to have to go back through the back of the hoop here, or he may just concede and go halfway.
I think if you're 4-1 down,
You don't concede.
I think you've just got to,
Yeah.
you've got to keep yourself in the fight. And yeah, I think, you know, taking this on is the way to do it. I think, you know, you've got to contest every point. And, you know, he does have an opportunity to keep himself alive in hoop 6, and I think this clearance is the way to do it.
So 5-1, almost certainly. I mean, JP could just nestle black into the jaws here so that he can do a.
He
He's not really got
actually
blue
can,
in the right place for that, though, has he?
Well, it depends how far in he actually puts this black. So if black is nudged maybe just a centimetre forwards, JP can actually come off the left-hand side of it. Whereas if black is put bang in the middle of the uprights, it will actually, take that shot away from him.
Oh, that's
He
gone through.
has-
That's
just.
not good. That's what he was going for.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's ended up.
It's not great. So he's going to have trouble, I think, getting across to 7 from there.
I think this narrows down his options for him, and will just now force his hand into taking a clearance at this yellow ball with blue, if it is anywhere remotely runnable. And that is short.
Yeah, it's probably runnable on a good day. Looks tricky.
That looks very tricky. Yeah. So yeah, JP opting for a deep ball with blue.
Rover's offside, so JP's asked Will to take it over here, miles away from hoop 7.
Banished to the penalty point.
Yep. And let's see whether Will can lag him somewhere useful with red.
Got some legs. That's got a lot of legs. That's a really nice cut, actually. He's played that really quite well.
Yeah.
So he's looked to just take the finest of contacts off of the blue ball and send his yellow to the 7-yard boundary in front of the hooping contention, which is hoop number 7. So JP here will be looking for affectionately dubbed JP Special, controlled mid-pace centre baller. Quite the cleanest of contacts ball on mallet, I don't think.
No, but blue's still in front of the hoop.
It's not too bad, but what it does mean is that if black might now be forced to take this red, because if it doesn't, yellow has got a meaty in-on clearance on blue.
Absolutely. Doesn't look like JP got a hoop or red in the way.
This will just be
Yeah.
just a bump in the way, I think. Yeah, that's nicely done as well.
So yeah, normally well decided to say bye-bye blue and try and hold the position.
Looks like that's on the cards. Not quite.
It wasn't at all
He had in mind there.
No, wasn't happy with that.
The yellow's travelled, and yellow has travelled in the direction that could potentially give JP the possibility of a wide position.
It's got to come in from a long way, but yeah, if he gets it, that's quite powerful.
Well, that looks pretty good. Oh, can't see the yellow on that feed, but yeah. So I think red can see the blue, but I'm unsure whether yellow actually can. Red's opted for his clearance and hasn't quite come off, so it looks like red is just past the halfway mark between 6 and 7. So black likely will come in. There could be a potential here for black to get in a position which is both wide from yellow and blocking red at hoop. That might be what JP's eyeing up. So it looks like here he's opting for the block at red at hoop. Could have travelled just a pinch there, I think. Might be open. Based on where it looked like JP was putting his mallet down to the position that he wanted. That might have gone just a pinch too far. Yeah, so JP looks...
So JP has two options here. He could take on the hoop, which it looks like he's doing, or he could block red at black.
I think he's looking for the blocking line that potentially covers both. If he's got... If Will's got a shot at... If Will's got a double here, I think JP's looking to get on the line. That gives him like a 50% of black and nothing at the hoop. But Will's definitely shooting something here.
I reckon the hoop might be open.
I think
It's
you're
difficult
right.
to see on the camera shot.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's got black.
I think he's obstructed black. Yeah.
So Will really needs this, or he's going to be 6-1 down. So.
Yeah, it's a tough position to find yourself in. This a reasonably angled must-run 7-yarder, or 7+ yarder, given the distance that this is off the centre line. So, yeah, not an easy hoop, but if he gets it, it sends a big message to Oppo as well. So,
How are the hoops playing away?
that is a great question. It's one that I can't answer, having not run one yet. So,
So I've been watching and I've seen quite a few rejections, but it's
Yeah.
unclear as a spectator if that's bad play or... Ooh! Probably not good enough with JP's jump shots.
I think you might be right, but it could all come down to whether or not these are actually too close. Sometimes if the ground is exceptionally dry, generating enough height in such a short space of distance between the black and the red can actually be quite challenging. JP just needs to kind of drill this into the ground, hope that it can generate enough height to clear the red.
For those who don't know, the rule is that the nearest ball, so if they both run, the nearest ball didn't go. The nearest ball to the hoop will count. So if he'd put red through then and black had gone as well, red would have scored the hoop, not black. So he needed a clean jump right over the top then.
That's correct. The common misconception is that it's whichever ball runs the hoop first. So if black had have dragged red through, black would have gone clear well before the red. Common misconception is that because black's run first, it scores the point. But as you said, it's actually whichever ball is in closest proximity to the hoop at the time the point of score, which would need to have been red.
No, Will went for clearing blue, so blue couldn't jump as well. And turned it into red as well. So a lot happened on that last one.
Yeah, he's got to do play.
So 6-1 to JP.
Uh,
One
five-
for Wind.
5-2.
5-2, sorry,
Yeah.
I told it wrong.
Yeah, red was JP's ball. Red was Will's ball.
Oh, of course it was.
So red's
Ah, sorry.
yellow's peeled partner. We'll put it in AC terms. So that's moderately deep and wide. I think that's just in an effort to prevent Will from taking position. So I think Will's just going to shoot at this. Yeah, I don't think that was.
From the look of his walk, I'm saying that missed completely.
I don't think that was a clean contact between the hoop and the barrel.
It's not the walk of one, it's just cleanly as a
No, I agree. It's done well to clear the fence and get it in the hedgerow though.
it's beware.
Indeed, yeah.
So the Southwick Club have done a great job on preparing the lawns here. Running quite fast. beautifully green. They've been watering, and quite sandy. So sometimes you might see the ball have a sort of sandy tail as it moves on some of the ones.
Yeah, I had a word with Clive here at the club, and he tried to explain in layman's terms to somebody that knows very little about lawn exactly what the sand is there for. And it's designed over the next kind of 3 days. It will bed into the turf and will slightly aerate the soil to facilitate drainage, and hopefully will leave the courts in a better, flatter, and more consistent condition as the sand
Levels out.
works its way into the ground and does its magic. So there's a lot to it that somebody like me that doesn't know a lot about lawn care doesn't understand, but hopefully it'll make the playing conditions just a bit better, a bit smoother, a bit more consistent, a bit quicker, and so that optimal playing conditions are with faster running lawns.
Yep. It's challenging to get those blocks in.
Generally in the UK, that level of playing surface is quite difficult to achieve. So
Too much rain. Very uncharacteristic summer here.
indeed.
They're talking about hosepipe bands.
This has potentially got a wire, although JP's following it as if he likes where this is ending up. I think he's looking at wiring blue from yellow using a peg. Looks like has achieved that objective. He hasn't missed that by much at all. That was a very close shot. Yeah, really good effort. Went a bit quiet in commentary corner because Will virtually played his clearance from just a couple of feet from where we're sitting. So it's not ideal to have people talking one's backswing. So considering that was pretty much max distance, that was really good effort there for Will.
So, very nice shot from Will. 1 yard straight in front of 9. He looks like he's lining up to clearance with that.
Yeah, beautifully struck that one.
Does it look very easy, doesn't it? Sports there, very casual.
Yeah, few swings and bosh right
Yeah.
in the middle.
Makes any difference. Black didn't go off. Black didn't go off.
So thanks for the feedback, Rita. The plan is to
I think that
get a few different nations as the
Straight
tournament
on the
progresses.
little yellow.
Yeah.
so it was more there, was
There,
it?
there.
Oh, okay.
Given the situation that the streaming gear is in, there are only so many courts that we
You
can
reckon you
cover.
bring it then? Not that much, right?
This match was deemed best of the bunch. So whilst we're well aware that we've already had a member of the G family having been streamed already, we can only work with what we've been given in front of us. So yes, whilst it would have been nice to have many different options, and we could have had a pick of the bunch. We have chosen to stream this one, given where the cameras, the mics, etc., are set up. As the competition develops, we will be sure to try to get fair balance, given that we have actually got access to 4 different courts. But it's all about which ones go on at any given time and who's where. So we're doing the best that we can, but this is the feature match for now.
I need a record point of law. I want to know when a ball is on. It's on the edge of the tee. They changed it. They changed it, didn't they? Yeah.
So if any part of the ball is over this line,
as soon as it overhangs, yeah, so it doesn't have to touch.
so I can actually
Can you think of any
chip
particular
black
husband and wife
quite a long
teams?
way, but it would have gone off the lawn already.
Debbie?
Yeah,
Debbie
yeah,
Lyons?
if you hit black here.
We're not
red
playing
comes
though.
off.
Ian is.
Yeah, whereas if I hit it
Having
on the left,
come fresh-faced off the
Feel
qualifier,
free to get
were you- how did you find the qualifier yourself?
Well, I played well, but I didn't make it through to the block 12, so I'm third reserve today.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think there's anyone not turned up.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like unless there's anybody that was due a buy that hasn't made it.
Everyone's been seen.
Registration closed this morning as well, so those players that want to buy should have turned up to register tomorrow morning.
So basically, if I hit black
The last thing
and
you
my
want
red ball
is
is here when it's
telling
hit,
off
it's
from the
already got the
manager.
balls there,
Yes.
basically.
So, yeah, we went for it. We went for the husband.
Cool, thanks.
Didn't quite make it, but my husband Ian got through, so
Excellent.
may see him on the streaming at some point.
No doubt we'll get him on. He's close proximity to the streaming gear.
And of course, the other married couple that we might hope to have seen, but unfortunately won't, is Jenny Clark and Chris Clark. Chris is pretty much retired now due to back problems. But Jenny's here playing, and she won her match this morning.
Excellent. That's good news. And whilst Chris isn't particularly active on the playing system, he does a wonderful job of supporting the sport, various different roles, and hopefully one of them at some point will be in the commentary box. So whilst we might not see him on court, we should still hear him chipping in with commentary, which is always a delight.
One of the best practitioners of the game, so it's, usually educational.
Yeah, you'll certainly get a brilliant insight as to what's going on. That's brilliant. Very well acted.
So,
Yeah, it's a cracking shot, that one. I'll be pleased with the outcome there. That is our ground level camera. Daniel Larson, is Debbie commentating? Debbie is indeed. I'm joined in the commentary box by Debbie Lyons.
hello, everybody. My first time commentating, so there you go.
Doing a wonderful job so far. He has overplayed that one, so he's hit that more or less full in the face.
Yeah, he wanted to hit that so that at least one of his balls ended up in the front, but
Yeah.
red looks has gone too far.
I think the shot that he was looking for was more or less a contact of about 50-50, which would have taken the pace off of red, but sent it in front of the hoop. But instead, he's made more or less full-on contact. So too much power from the yellow ball has been transferred into red, and at the wrong line. So quite unfortunate. But JP has played reasonably close in here. Will's eyeing up his jaws anyway, but yeah, I might have thought that perhaps red would have been a little bit too close to blue and he wouldn't have been able to resist the clearance, but looks like he's trying for the jaws.
Nice shot.
Yeah, decent enough outcome.
Is that right in the drawers or bounce back a bit?
It's just out, but there's not a whole lot to be done, I think, other than JP trying to clear this yellow here and then playing his jump.
Very.
Oh, he's got
Sorry,
it.
I
Oh,
was
right.
wasn't
Nice.
sure if black would do that.
No, I didn't think that was on the cards, to be honest. No. Yeah, no, I didn't even think he had the angle.
So Will will be trying to send blue over towards where JP's standing and absolutely yellow flag. Didn't get quite beyond on that, did it? Like blue to have gone a bit further right. Camera angles to the left of the camera.
To the east.
To use one to the centre.
I absolutely hate it. It's unfathomable for me.
And what about when I'm stood over there? I'm stood at this end of the lawn.
I'll have to put it into context by using corner 4. That's the only way I can
Yeah.
navigate my way around a croquet court.
Work it round and then try and say the right thing.
It's different when you come to another club as well. When you just about get the orientation of your own club, and then you come somewhere like this where there's lots of different lawns in lots of different directions. It's quite disorientating. But I'm yet to approach the wrong hoop today, so I'm doing well.
We played it.
Ah, well there. Minor
Minor point.
point, yes.
So you're playing later today, or have you got a bye today?
No, the whole day is I'm a free agent,
Free agent today.
and then yeah. So I think each block gets a bye day. Mine happens to be today. So JP had a reasonably good shot from the 7-yard boundary where Will had played his cut clearance to. It's not quite in the centre of the hoop, but yeah, it's not a bad outcome for blue, that's for sure. And black has just taken its defensive clearance on red, leaving yellow this shot.
Yeah, bring it. Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, these are tough. You know, no player wants to just bring it in by like a yard and a half when you're in this position. But you do kind of, especially a player like Will, you know, who has quite an upright stance and a long mallet. It's beautifully struck. You know, you do want to make sure you give yourself, you know, enough clearance on the backswing to just take any given obstruction completely out of, you know, out of the equation, really. But it's a fine line between ensuring that your backswing is clear versus, you know, just taking what looks like a considerable amount of relief. But you know, players are entitled to it; they do know it. So that's really good as well.
Which camera?
You know, on the ground level camera, we can pan to the top deck. Not a whole lot's going on up there. So blue is
Nicely positioned.
terrific. I believe that it is wired from the red ball on this top boundary as well. Sorry, yellow ball, yeah. Which is going to force red into taking position.
Right.
Maybe I'm not.
Maybe yellow's open.
Yeah, well, it must be. I don't think he'd be leaving it there.
He
Yeah.
would have taken that on it. Yeah. So JP's actually on purpose taken that long to try and block the yellow shot, I think. I hope that's what he was trying to do, because otherwise it wasn't a very good shot.
Yes, it's likely to have been going through his mind that he can get away with taking, you know, a reasonably close position, knowing that if he does overhit it, he could potentially fall on the blocking line. So that's probably what's happened. But it doesn't look like he's got it. Let's line up his clearance here.
Shot. Oh, but yellow's gone a long way away.
Well, he's done something about the immediate danger, which is good.
Fortunately, blue's
Kind of
off
stuck
the
around,
lawn,
really.
but red will be being moved.
Yeah, it looks like JP's got the potential for one of his just under 7-yard centre ball specials. Ah, beautifully struck. Right on the money, that one. Yeah, that is pretty much perfect.
It's nice to see a player who's got power also do these lovely measured shots.
Mm.
So many players, they just go, hit as hard as they can every time. Really, it's these little shots that are hugely useful to have in the arsenal as well.
Got no idea who you might be referring to there, Debbie.
I actually wasn't referring to you. But, yeah. Toby,
No.
for those who don't know, does hit the ball quite hard.
No one immediately springs to mind. That looks like JP who, I think he was going for the respective block on yellow. I don't think he's got it. I think if Will is threatened by the black ball, he might have a thrash at his double. But this looks like it's just a But truth be told, in terms of how my own game has been played over the last couple of seasons, I have tried to rein in a few of these
A nice shot.
thrashing clearances and trying to focus on the sort of, the measured mid-pace clearances that JP's played. And I think if you can get them right, they pay dividends. They're a very strong type of shot to have in your arsenal. So
Need a flat lawn though.
yeah,
Fortunately,
that's
so
right.
often they're not flat enough to risk it, but Southwick lawns here are flat enough.
Hmm. Yeah, no, remarkable playing condition. So JP here looking like he is probably just going to... No, it looks like he's just rolling in, probably trying to seek blocking position from red at black.
Sure. Expect Red can see that.
Will scratching his head, so I think it
Because
might be okay. And Will's having a bit of a think about it.
a deep breath there.
This could be a bit of a
Last shot type.
Hail Mary at the Hail Mary at hoop 10 if you can't see the black ball. Not bad. So I should imagine you'll see JP take game 1.
I have seen these miss, but not at this level. First game to JP.
And there we are. My suspicion would be that they might just take 5 minutes.
Wednesdays. They know each other well, these two, so having a chat about how that first game went. See what they get up to in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to wander away now, so nice talk to you all folks. I'll possibly be back later.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you at some point.
Okay, bye for now folks.
There wasn't much to go.
Yeah, in terms of spacing, you want to do that. Don't you?
Sure. Sure. Archie, hello. Thanks. How you doing? Good. Great to see you again. Yeah. Long time no see. Here. Yeah. Of course. Great to be able to do it again. Eh? Just gonna. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going through quite a bit. That's the one about that.
So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a break on the streaming. So we are going to take lunch. We're going to end the stream there for the time being. We will rejoin in the afternoon, possibly something around 1, 2 o'clock. There is a game on the adjacent court, which is Mohammed Karem and Matthew Essick. So if JP and Will are tantalisingly close, we might stick with that, but otherwise I should suspect that we will move to the game on court 1 for the afternoon, which will be Mohammed Karem, Matthew Essick. But we shall see what goes on. You are more than welcome to join the afternoon session. Please do. Please encourage your friends, family, everyone else tune in. So we shall end here for the time being, and then the streaming session for the afternoon will be published a little later on. And look forward to you rejoining us there. Bye.